Now, on Sports File today, we're going to be talking about a fact of life where sports or history can repeat itself. We all know that Jack Johnson, various contenders, white contenders, were put together to defeat him under the Great White Hope banner. Now, for majority of the 1960s, Ingemar Johansson was white, of course. For the 60s, 70s, into the 80s, black champions dominated. Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Ken-Norton, Joe Frazier, very strong fighters. Just happened their skin was black. But this white contender, Irish besides, became a Great White Hope some 45 years ago, and eventually got his comeuppance from Larry Holmes. Although he's a gentleman, Gerry Cooney should not have been fighting for the world title because, yes, he knocked out Ken-Norton and he had a key fight, but he never paid his dues, as we say, and he was put in there because he was white. Now, Gerry Cooney, born Manhattan, August 24th, 56, challenged twice for world heavyweight titles in 82 and 87. He's widely regarded as one of the hardest punchers in heavyweight history. He bet Ken-Norton, S.T. Gordon, as well as Ron Lyle and Jimmy Young late in their careers. He had an 85.7% knockout to win percentage. Born into a blue-collar Irish Catholic family in Long Island, he was encouraged to become a pro fighter by his father. His brother Tommy Cooney was also a boxer and reached the finals of the New York Golden Gloves sub-novice heavyweight division. Cooney's grandparents were from Placentia, Newfoundland in Canada, and for anybody from Placentia can tell you got to be tough to come from there. Now, fighting as an amateur, he won international tournaments in England, Wales, and Scotland, as well as the New York Golden Gloves title. He won 2 New York Golden Gloves championships, the 1973 160-pound sub-novice title, and the 76 heavyweight open title. Cooney defeated Larry Derrick to win the 73 160-pound sub-novice title, and Earl Strep to win the 76 heavyweight open crown. In 75, he reached the finals of the 170-pound open division, but was defeated by Johnny Davis. Cooney trained at the Huntington Athletic Club in Long Island, New York, where his trainer was John Capobianco. His amateur record was 55-3. When he turned professional, Cooney signed with co-managers Mike Jones and Dennis Rappaport, and he was trained by Victor Valley, who was that fight against Larry Holmes, him yelling from the corner, trying to encourage him, was talked about in Ring magazine, and he made, I think, that magazine twice before the fight and after losing. Now, known for his big left hook and imposing size, the tall, lean Cooney had his first paid fight on February 15, 1977, beating Billy Jackson in the first round by KO. 9 wins followed, and Cooney gained attention as a future contender, although his opponents were carefully chosen. He moved up a weight class and fought future World Cruiserweight champion S.T. Gordon in Las Vegas, winning by a 4th-round disqualification. Cooney then had 11 more wins, spanning 78 and 79. Among those he defeated were Charlie Polite, Eddie Lopez, and Tom Prater, lower contenders in the top 25. Again, at the time, they were not rated. By 1980, he was being featured on national TV. Stepping up, he bet one-time title challengers Jimmy Young, who lost to Ali, and Ron Lyle, who also lost to Ali, and Foreman, both by KOs. The Young fight was stopped because of cuts sustained by Jimmy. But then Cooney was ranked number 1 by the WBC and eager for a match with champion Larry Holmes. Didn't deserve to be number 1. There was much, much better fighters going around. In 81, he defeated former world heavyweight champion Ken-Norton by a knockout just 54 seconds in the first round with a blistering, powerful attack, similar to what Foreman did in Norton. This tied the record set in 48 by Lee Savold for the quickest knockout in the main event at Madison Square Garden. Since his management team was unwilling to risk losing a big future payday with Holmes by having to face another viable fighter, Cooney did not fight for 13 months after defeating Norton. So he never fought for 13 months, but he's still number 1. But the ABC under Jose Suleiman was very corrupt at the time. The following year, Holmes agreed to fight him with the match held June 11, 82. With a purse of $10 million for the challenger, it was the richest fight in boxing history at that time. The promotion of the fight took on racial overtones that were exaggerated by the promoters, something Cooney, of course, did not agree with. He believed that skill, not race, should determine if a boxer was good. However, if Cooney won, he would have been the first white champion on the heavyweight division since Ingemar Johansson defeated Floyd Patterson 23 years earlier. Don King called Cooney the Great White Hope. The bout, held June 11, 1982, drew attention worldwide, and Larry Holmes for Gerry Cooney was one of the biggest closed-circuit pay-per-view productions in history, broadcast to over 150 countries. Now, Cooney fought bravely after he's knocked down briefly in the second round. He was fined 3 points for repeated low blows. After 12 rounds, the more skillful and experienced Holmes finally wore him down, but in round 13, Cooney's trainer Victor Valley stepped in the ring, forcing the referee to stop the fight. 2 to 3 judges would have had Cooney head after 12th round if it weren't for the point deductions. Holmes and Cooney became friends after the fight, a relationship that endured for them. On December 14, 1982, Cooney fought Harold Rice, the heavyweight champion of Connecticut, in a 4-round bout. No winner was declared, so Cooney told the crowd following the bout, "This is only exhibition. I'm sorry if I disappointed anybody. I'm trying to work myself back in shape so I can knock out Larry Holmes. Everything's okay. I felt a little rusty, but that's normal. I've been a while. I felt good in front of the people." After a long layoff, Cooney fought in September 1984, beating Philip Brown by a 4th-round KO in Anchorage. He fought once more that year and won, but personal problems kept him out of the ring. Although Cooney had only 3 official bouts in 5 years following his loss to Holmes, the demand for his services was still high. In 1987, he challenged former world heavyweight and world light heavyweight champion Michael Spinks in a title bout. Cooney appeared past his prime, and Spinks, boxing carefully with constant sharp counters, knocked him out in round 5. Cooney's last fight was in 1990. He was almost killed when he was knocked out by George Foreman in a matchup of power-punching veterans in 2 rounds. Cooney did stagger Foreman in the first, but he was overmatched, and Foreman knocked him out again 120 seconds into the second stanza. The losses to Holmes, Spinks, and Foreman exposed Cooney's Achilles heel, his inability to clinch and tie up his opponent when hurt. In the Foreman fight, he rose from a second-round knockdown and stood in the center ring as Foreman delivered a coup de grace. Cooney was also notorious for his poor footwork. Now, he compiled a pro record of 28-3 with 24 knockouts. None of his 10 to 15-round fights went the distance. He's ranked number 53 in the rings list of the 100 greatest punchers of all time. I don't agree with that. That's just, it's great white hype. He was a good fighter, but not Ernie Shavers, come on, in different heavyweights. Cooney is natural left-handed, used an orthodox stance like Oscar De La Hoya. This provided him with a powerful jab and a lethal left hook, but a comparatively weaker right, which he seldom used except in combinations. Most of these fights ended in quick knockouts. While this benefited him in the beginning of his career against overmatched opponents, it left him unprepared for his fight against world heavyweight champion Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was like a shark. He could tear you apart. He'd find your problem and take care of it later. Despite his devastating punching power, Cooney's moderate stamina and lack of experience proved to be his downfall. Now, Cooney's left hook is described as one of the powerful punches in boxing history. Known for not throwing punches at the head, aiming instead for his opponent's chest, ribs, or stomach, this made him vulnerable at times, the fight against Holmes being an example. According to George Foreman, George Cooney was one of the 3 hardest punchers he had faced in his career, along with Ron Lyle and Cleveland Big Cat Williams. Now, Cooney eventually founded the Fighters Initiative for Support and Training, an organization which helps retired boxers find jobs. I have great respect for what he's doing through the years for his charities. He did not encourage the racially charged promotion of the Holmes versus Cooney match and became friends again with Holmes in the years afterwards. Now he's also deeply involved in JAB, the first union for boxers. He eventually became a boxing promoter for title bouts featuring Roberto Duran, Hector the Macho Camacho, and George Foreman. Cooney's also a supporter of the Hands Are Not Hitting program, which tries to prevent domestic violence. He also guides young fighters in the gym. In June 2010, he began to co-host a Friday Night Fights on Sirius XM radio. Now he resides in the beautiful community of Fanwood, New Jersey, with his wife Jennifer and their 2 of their 3 children, Jackson and Sarah. His son Chris is a native of New York. Now, ironically, he guest starred himself in the 93 Simpsons episode Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling, where he works as a greeter at a casino owned by Mr. Burns. Now he was inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Walt Whitman High School in New York, where he graduated. Again, the different layoffs, like for example, ladies and gentlemen, this is no lie, from his loss to Larry Holmes to George Foreman, he only fought 5 times in 8 years. So again, lost to Michael Spinks, of course. At that time, he was Ring Magazine heavyweight champion, so that was not only for the belts, and the loss to Holmes was for the WBC and the Ring. Now again, the S.T. Gordon was his highest goal. Now his exhibition record, He fought Boone Kirkman. He won by third round TKO in Eugene, Oregon in 1983. And of course fought Harold Rice in an unscored bout in 1982, December 14th. So ladies and gentlemen, again, he's given a lot back to boxing, but I don't think I could call him a great white hope. He was a good contender. He was at least top 15 or top 20. But at the time, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like now. People don't look at the color of the skin. But he was a white heavyweight that the only person got as heavy as a plug, and this is a shout out to my good friend Mitch Chevalo, was Mitch's father, George. You know, all the white heavyweights through the years, George Chevalo, then Gerry Cooney. And by my memory, there was white fighters who took on Larry Holmes for the crown. And there was white fighters who took Ali, but they were European. And, you know, there was no strong white top 20 contender, or, you know, I mean, Dwayne Bobbitt maybe, you know, Randall Texcobb. But like just saying George Clooney could hit. But like I said, just like Ernie Shavers and Ron Lyle, you get him in the later rounds, or you hit him with something, going to knock him out. So that's the story of George Clooney. And you know, it's kind of weird, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't know who George Clooney was, but Gerry Cooney, again George Clooney, you know, Gerry Cooney. I think he once said, I popularized the word Cooney long before George Clooney showed up, because it's a. But I mean, he's being part Canadian. It's pretty freaky, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like what you're doing here, we're a boxing podcast. Let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.